Welcome to From Loneliness to Overflow with Matina. This is a space for honest conversation, for moments when something inside feels heavy or disconnected. Each episode features practitioners and wellness spaces sharing the intention behind their work so you can feel into what resonates and discover support you can experience directly. Wherever you're arriving from today, you are welcome here. Welcome to another episode from Loneliness to Overflow with Matina. Today's topic is about dissatisfaction. Dissatisfaction with life, with oneself, with others, sometimes even. But what are we dissatisfied about is very important to identify because the danger of generalizing dissatisfaction means that you are taking away all the little joys, all the blessings that you are receiving from day to day. So, my question to you today really truly is what are you dissatisfied about in your life? See, many different teachers approach it in different ways. Some have 7 areas of life. I did life books that was 12 areas of life that we focused upon that we got clarity around. I've worked with other coaches who've done 4 areas of life where they focus on relationships, health, career, and money, where there also is spirituality important. It's like all these areas of life can really be different from one another. We can be so satisfied in spirituality or in health, but we're very dissatisfied in career or in the way that we treat money or the way that we find money treats us. What happens when you identify what area you are dissatisfied around is that you can put more energy and effort towards it to really shift it towards a new way of living and being. When you do that, you create magic. You allow yourself to disconnect from an old way of living and being and connect into a new way of being. This sometimes can feel as very difficult because let's face it, we love our habits. We love the way we live. We love the way that we are. And we truly forget as to how things actually could be or allowing our own loving area of life to flourish. Really allowing that vision that you have, that you so deeply desire to actually become reality. I've struggled with this. And in some parts of my life, I'm still struggling with this. While other parts are very easy for me to shift, like that specific topics in my life, it takes some time. And what I mean by that is I know from a very deep level what spirituality means to me, how I show up in that, how I sometimes can be perceived as well. And when it comes to my relationships, there's a certain amount of effort that I put in place, that I create with, that I freely give, but also freely receive from an angle that is very much aligned with who I am as a human being. When it comes to my career, that's the one that I'm still building and creating in. I'm learning. I'm learning to love the old part of me, the part of me that wanted to be safe, stay safe, and not do something new because it's the fear of uncertainty. But I also love the part of me that actually embraces uncertainty. So how can I find the happy balance here? And how can I identify like exactly in my career what it is that I was dissatisfied about so I could bring the change in play? So today, really assess for yourself. Let's make it very simple here. Let's look at the 4 areas of life: health, relationships, career, and money. And the reason why career and money are different is because we treat them different. When you buy a certain amount of property, oftentimes you are catering that based on what you can afford. Sometimes people go beyond what they can afford, and sometimes people go below of what they can afford. Nonetheless, it is a set amount in our minds that allows us to show up a certain way, that allows us to put the parameters in a certain. So when you are looking at that from that angle, that parameter can shift, can get higher, can get lower based on how fast you are growing. But When you are like, no, actually, this house feels very good for me. And I'm going to stay here and I'm going to invest my money so my capital can grow. My investments can help me become financially literal, financially rich, financially free. Then you're treating money in a different. So often we don't even get there. I really, for today's exercise, I want to bring all four areas in because when the clarity truly lands in our psyche, in our mind, we have the power now to change. We get the power to decide. We get the liberty to shift. So let's start with health. My question to you is, in what part of your health are you dissatisfied? When you identify exactly what that is, I want you to rate it from a 0 to 10 scale. 0 means you know what? It's very nothing. There's no dissatisfaction in this area. Well, because you identified it, it's going to be between 1 and 10, I guess. But 0 means there's no dissatisfaction. I'm happy with the way it is, and this is going to be perfect for me. 10 meaning it's highly dissatisfaction. I am so sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I don't know how else and what else to do to create a way of life, a way of being to build myself up again. In that part, in that identification from a 0 to 10, you're helping yourself get crystal clear as where you are currently. Okay? No judgment here, but we need this clarification so that you can make a better choice for yourself. And when you make a better choice for yourself, you create better. So, have you identified what in the category of health is not serving you anymore? And when you identify what in the category of health doesn't serve you, have you then identified from a scale from 0 to 10, where is that dissatisfaction? 10 being completely blocked. Okay. Now let's go into the next one, which is relationships. Relationships are ever encompassing. This can be social relationships, this can be intimate relationships, this can be family, this can be friends. Where are you not satisfied when it comes to relationships? Is there a specific area that you're like, oh no, Matina, I really am ready to bring my loved one in. I really am ready to embrace my life in a certain way that creates so much joy and health for myself. I am truly ready. That is magic. That brings clarity as to exactly what type of relationship you're ready to embrace yourself in more, ready to change and shift your experience in completely. And maybe you're like, you know what? I don't have a great social life, or I don't feel connected to my friends anymore. I need to create a different set of friends. I really am calling in that. I'm dissatisfied right now with how my social life, how my friendships are not par with the journey that I am on. Maybe you are in a relationship and you're having a difficult period of time right now. What can you say and do even before you identify that? Is you need to identify how dissatisfied you are with it. So think about what area of relationships you want to focus upon. Is that your family? Is that your friends? Is that your intimate relationship? Is that your social life in general? What area would you like to focus upon? Parenting could be a great one in there as well. So once you identify which area you're dissatisfied in when it comes to relationships, let's again identify from a scale from 0 to 10, 0 being completely gone. I am happy. I'm good in this area. And 10 being completely blocked. How heavy is this dissatisfaction for you? Okay. 10 is completely blocked. 0 is nothing. I'm happy. I'm good. This is not an area of worry for me right now. Focus upon that. The third category is career. Focus in on when it comes to your career, how dissatisfied you are with it. On a scale from 1 to 10, 0 to 10, how dissatisfied are you when it comes to your career? 0 is, I'm happy, I'm good in my career, nothing to worry about. 10 meaning, I am completely blocked and I don't know how else or what else to do. Okay. And then the last category that we're going to cover today is money, finances. How happy or dissatisfied are you when it comes to money? 0 being, I'm happy, don't worry about it, it's all good, we are on the right track. 10 being, it is completely blocked. I don't know how to create or build my wealth. Identify what is that number for you. Now, generally speaking, when you have these 4 numbers in front of you from all 4 categories, you can then identify as to how big of a challenge it is for you. Anything you said from 8 to 10, meaning that is something that really wants and requires your time and attention. Okay. Anything between 7 till, let's say, 4, it's like it is kind of getting urgent, but it also wants you to stop and reflect before it gets too much. Okay. And anything from 1 to 4, 1 to 3, it's really is about you identifying what small shift can I make to make sure it goes to 0 again and I'm happy again in this area of my life. Small changes is something that we discard really easily. Yet these small changes make the biggest change. They have the biggest impact in your life. So trust that these small changes will lead to big shifts. And as I'm saying that, the thought that's coming up is the story that Tony always shares. Like when a plane even shifts for 1 millimeter left or right, the trajectory becomes completely different. So when you take action in a different way on a daily basis, your trajectory changes as well. So as your trajectory changes, my goodness, is it so beautiful to witness what gets to create this excitement inside of you and how you then are so brought into awareness and into the present moment and shifting the present moment with your love, your light. You are that. You are that amazing human being that feels into and creates with all that you are. So take a moment, assess from all those 4 categories, how many of these 4 categories do you have identified between 7 and a 10? And then the next question is going to be, what small change can you make in that category to help yourself to get to a better place? We're not talking about fixing it. We're not talking about releasing it or completely shifting it. No, we're talking about one small step you can take to help yourself along that journey to make it better. Because when you make it better, every area of life shifts. Every area does. When we feel good about ourselves and how we are showing up in our lives, we get to create differently. So if you are like, okay, Matina, my health is between 7 and a 10, please pay attention before it turns into a disease that truly slows you down, that truly cannot allow you to be and do who you are. Slow down, be you, create from your loving heart and life. You are that power, my dear. You have the ability to shift so much that it allows you to be the human that you are. Give yourself the grace of taking one small step. So in health, that could be, I'm going to eat differently. Or you know what? I'm going to skip a meal. Or you know what? I'm going to go for a walk. In relationship is maybe I need to say no more. In career, it could be, I've done this job for so long. I'm ready for a new challenge. Let me start applying somewhere else. And in wealth, maybe that is just to create a saving account and have your next trip planned. Serving you, honoring you, filling your own bucket of love and light. Your love and light matters. Your creation matters. You are loving creation. You literally are loving creation. We are meant to create as human beings, but we get so bogged down by human doings. Stop, assess, feel. We truly don't give enough credit to our own emotions, to our own feelings, to our own wholeness. So if you've made it this far, you have actually assessed all 4 areas of your life. You know where the work is cut out for you. You know where you are dissatisfied in. And maybe, just maybe, this is the first time that you allowed yourself to see it, that you allowed yourself to feel into it. Now is also the time to change. Make a small change. And I'm not telling you to make a change in every single area of life. Pick one. Pick one area of life that has the highest number that needs to come down and focus on that. Put your efforts into that. So you get to be the magic that you are. You get to show up in a way of life and being gives you that magic, that gives you that essence of joy. We have so much to give to ourselves as well as to other people. And when we give with a whole heart, with so much positivity, loving energy, we get to create in ways that we can't even imagine. I'm so grateful that I am privileged to share all of this information and guidance that I have received in my life, that I have assessed and thought about in my life. Because there's one thing that I have learned very significantly is so important to bring all my bodies along my journey. My physical body, my mental body, my emotional body, my spiritual body. When those four are in harmony, life becomes joy. Life becomes living from moment to moment. Life becomes that privilege of showing up, creating, honoring, loving. And if you feel safe to share with me what area you're going to focus upon, you can put that in the comments. You can email me at connect@matinasingh.com or even go on Instagram, Sing Matina. And it would be such an honor to see and read what you're going to focus upon. And I will hold you accountable. I will ask, what's that one small change that you have welcomed in your life so that you get to live and be the beautiful soul that you are? I'm rooting for you. I believe that you have the capacity and ability to do everything you want. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for spending your time here. Sharing your reflections in the comments or passing this conversation along helps this space reach people who are looking for support and don't always know where to turn. Take a breath as you transition back into your day and notice what's present now. I'll meet you again next week.